The Walking Dead Season 3 and 4 are some of the best seasons I have ever watched of horror TV, so it is time to unpack it into LEGO form and see which sets we could get. But as always guys, comment below your ideas for the sets that you would like to see. Now, The Walking Dead Season 3 has one of the best villains in the Governor, and these sets I'm going to tell you today are sort of surrounding the Governor, surrounding the prison, and I'm sort of leaving away some sets because we all know that in Season 4 only half of the series is really dedicated to the prison, the other half is them all split up going to Terminus, but Terminus will be covered in the next video of Season 5 and Season 6. Now, there's obviously not that many sets you can really do here. For Season 3, literally all I've got is the prison and Woodbury, but I'm saying you could split it up into different sets that sort of come together to form a bigger, larger prison. Now, you could just go for a generic prison cell, but I think there's just some things you have to really fit in there. So the 5 prisoners are really, really unique into The Walking Dead. Some of them survive, obviously, some of them die, but none of them survive long enough to be a standing member with the gang longer than this season. So yeah, 2 prisoners I would put in the set is the leader, and I cannot quite remember his name, but he survives into Season 4 and then dies, I think. And I'd also put Rick and Daryl there because obviously they go after them, they try and get them, and they try and see them and kill them, and they end up killing quite a lot of them at the end of the day. I would also put into the prison sets Laurie's death from Season 3. I think Laurie and Carl, you kind of have to put that in. It's kind of a turning point in Carl where he goes to a bit of a rogue killer as a child, which we don't actually see Judith do in the future seasons, which I guess is a bit more surprising, or not, seeing as Michonne is probably a better mother than Laurie was. But also you'd have to do Woodbury as well. Now, the governor's quarters, where he has his daughter as a walker just held up there, sort of really similar to the way Herschel has his daughter as well, could be a really good idea for Season 3 as well, and that would just be really good. Now, there's lots of different ones you could have in here. You could have Daryl's brother's death, Merle, in here as well, which would be a really good one, but I just think you have to try and put some characters in it. So for the prison, I would definitely get Herschel, Beth, Maggie, Tyrese, Sasha. I would even put in Merle, Daryl, like all of the main gang, Rick, Glenn, and all of those guys. They have to be put into the set, and then you can all put them together. Maybe like combined price for all 3 of these sets I've mentioned, it would be like £150. But yeah, this kind of really links in to Season 4. Now, I know I'm going quite fast, maybe over Season 3, but Season 3 and Season 4 are kind of like 2-parted seasons as a cliffhanger on both. But in Season 4 for the prison, you gotta have the governor's death rolling up to the prison with a tank. I would also put Lily in that set, Tara, Rick, Michonne, because they're all fighting the governor. Michonne obviously stabs him. You have Herschel there because obviously he sadly gets beheaded by the governor at that point. So I'll definitely try and include all of those guys in the sets as well. I don't know, the tank would be really, really cool. Obviously, the problem with these sets is you'd have to have so many LEGO walkers trying to capture it as well. And definitely if somehow LEGO went into 18+ rated stuff, then I would just be buying so many LEGO walkers for literally everything, which could be quite fun at the end of the day. But definitely I would try and do LEGO the walking, the governor's death at this point as well. And for Woodbury, obviously the fall of Woodbury, the governor murdering however many people, but Milton and Andrea's death as well. Milton as the walker and Andrea obviously getting bitten. And now Andrea actually, for the first season a bit before she shoots Daryl, is quite a likable character. But then she just ignores her friends and stays with the governor when she knows he's bad after a while for ages and ages and ages. So I didn't really pity her when she died. It was sad because someone from the iconic the group had died again, and maybe her reason for not joining it because she was missing Shane, and she was like, what happened to him? Why did so many people died? And yeah, that's kind of applaudable, but also not, because you're just abandoning your friend who helped you through quite a lot and saved your life and all of that stuff. But going into season 4 then, like I said, I'm going to cover Terminus in the next thing, because whilst Rick and the gang like sort of go up there and then they get like captured and stuff, it's really way more covered in the season 5, episodes 1 and 2. And then obviously we find that I'm not actually going to include Carol in any of these sets, mostly because she basically gets kicked out by Rick after she murders Tyrese's love interest at that point. But I want them to do Abraham's truck. Now I usually try and bring in a vehicle of some sort. Abraham's truck would be really, really good, and it's a really good idea to include Glenn, Eugene, Abraham, Rosita and Tara into it. Obviously I actually think Abraham's one of the most underrated characters we actually have in The Walking Dead, so I would definitely try and get him into this set as well. Would have Eugene, Rosita also being introduced as well. Obviously Eugene was basically an arsehole at this point, just convincing everyone he could save the world and then just trying to get them to take him there, which is quite dangerous. They obviously put Tara into this set after the governor's antics. Still don't like how Tara ended up, but we'll cover that in a much later video as well. I'd also try and put in Daryl versus the Claimers. Now maybe this might not seem like a big part of it, like you could do Daryl and Beth, you could do all these different like split up characters, and Carol and Tyrese and those two kids, that was genuinely one of the worst moments of The Walking Dead. Like it was like a good scene, but just probably shouldn't put that in a Lego set. But Daryl versus the Claimers, you could have Daryl, Carl, Rick, Michonne, and the two of the Claimers as well. Obviously, there's so many wild fan theories about this, what actually happens to Carl off screen, what would happen to Carl if it was in the comics, and stuff like that, which I haven't read the comics. I am planning to read the comics after the TV show finishes, and I honestly do not know where this could go, because this is like, there's so many weird people in this. In the Claimers, there's like a really weird guy like just attacking Carl, and there's that really creepy guy in the Saviors as well. But yeah, I'll definitely try and include Abraham's truck and Daryl versus the Claimers. So a recap then: a massive prison set, a Woodbury set, Abraham's truck, Daryl versus the Claimers, and I'm going to cover Terminus in the next season. Now, I hope you guys agree with me. I would really love this. I think season 3 and 4 are some of the best seasons. In my opinion, season 5 gets better. I really like season 2 as well. And I didn't quite like the ending of season 4, but 3 and 4 are really, really good as well. 5 gets even better. 6 is alright. 7 is, I really like 7. I really like the Saviors. I know it's a bit slow and a lot of people hate it for the writing and Carl's death spoilers. But we'll get onto that later on. But yeah, hope you guys like the video. Make sure to subscribe and make sure to comment down your Lego Walking Dead ideas for the future.